did he go?
I don't know. He did a cross-country trip.
Up to Niagara. He took like 10 days when we were going across the country.
Would you mind scooting over here just so when she looks at you or me, she's not like...
Do you want me to look straight here or at you?
At us, yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Is that cool?
Yeah, it's just, hold on.
Do you want to... I don't want to ruin your table.
Oh,
no,
you're fine.
you're
You're fine.
you're
We're not really picky about that kind of stuff.
Okay, are you ready for this?
Yeah, I just gotta, like, we'll just pretend I'm just talking to you. And then it's way easier. Have you already started this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, what is it that first attracted you to Shawn?
I think the first thing I was attracted to was just how kind he was, and he was dedicated to the gospel, and that was really, I loved that about him. We were really good friends for a long time, and it took me a while to, I guess, till I decided I wanted to date him. And I just remember one day he was saying how he was going to treat his wife, and we were just friends at the time, and I remember thinking, I wish that was me. And anyways, here we are now. That was like something that really stands out to me.
What is it that people misunderstand about Shawn, if there's anything?
Misunderstand. Can't think of anything really. Maybe that he's just a businessman. I don't know. He's more of a country boy than people think. Yeah.
What else should people know about him, do you think?
That he's a good person, and he tries really hard. He's a really good dad, and he is always striving to be a better person. He's a really good husband, and let's see, what else? What was your last question? Sorry.
Just what else is there to know about, or what should people know about?
Well, most people don't know that his dream job would be to be a rancher. That's not, huh?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. If money weren't an issue and he could do whatever he wants, it would be raise cattle. Right? Okay.
Okay, last, any interesting stories or thoughts?
Interesting stories.
This is your chance for vengeance.
I know, I'm trying to think. Is anything going through your mind right now?
It's your time.
I know, I'm thinking. I wish we could pause this for a second so I can think.
Do you want me to?
Well, you're gonna just edit it, right?
Yeah, oh
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good, because
This part will be in the outtakes.
I can't think of an interesting story. Like, just right off the top of my head.
So maybe I'll just ask you some questions then.
Okay, just start throwing questions
So
out.
what did he do to get put in the friend zone in the first place?
Well, he had a girlfriend.
Oh.
So we met because we were in the same family home evening group. Hold on, I'll wait. Are we done? Okay. Well, we met because we were in the same family home evening group. And so his friend, or his roommates would just hang out at our apartment. That was here at SUU. And so we were just friends for probably 7 or 8 months before we started dating. Anyways, but he was in the friend zone because he had a girlfriend at the time. And then when they broke up, I was very interested after that.
And that's when he was talking about how he would his wife, do you think was that just purely observational, or was he hinting at something?
Oh, I've never asked you that question. I don't think he was hinting. I think he was just giving me his resume.
I think I was prepping the Bible space.
You think? I think we were just friends at that time, though. I can't remember if I was starting to like you or not. Anyways, let's see what else.
What are his strengths as a father?
He puts time in with his kids. I call them the Mike Brady moments. He always tries to give the kids a lesson with everything that happens. You know, at the end of the Brady Bunch, there's always a lesson to be told to the kids. Yeah, he just loves them, and I guess that's all I can ask for.
How is he when things get hot? Like, I mean, ask that a different way. How does he handle himself in a crisis?
Oh, he's really calm in a crisis. I'm always the one that's more frantic, and he always says, hold on. His famous line to me is, just relax. So he's the steady one.
Does it work when he tells you to relax?
Actually, it does.
Really?
Yeah. That's kind of a new one. He started that one in the last year, and I'm like, oh, I wish he would have used that one for the last 20 years. Do you think that's a new one?
Well, that's something I wish I would have known earlier.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, it doesn't make me mad. It just kind of calms me down.
You cracked the code.
Took a while. It'll change.
Anything else you can think of?
Okay, let's think of a good story. Can you think of anything?
I'm trying to bore me, I guess.
No, I'm just thinking of when we were dating. When we were dating, he took me to his family's, I guess, ranch, and I helped him haul hay, load hay, and he thought I was a country girl, but I wasn't.
And you're from Hurricane, so.
And I was from Hurricane, so he assumed, no, I'm just kidding.
And you'd watch Clint Eastwood movies with me.
Yeah, I would watch Clint Eastwood movies with him, but no more.
All that changed. Once we made our vows.
Let's see. I'm just trying to think if I'm going way back or am I just talking current.
Either way.
I don't know. Can't think of anything else. Just, if you want to know about Shawn, he's just steady. He's like, he's a good person. And that was probably the first thing that I learned to love about him was his dedication to the gospel of Jesus Christ and just how kind he treats people. He has a brother with special needs. I thought that was really awesome how he treated his brother when I first got to know him. Let's see. That's about it that I can think
That's
of.
good.
Yeah.
That is good. I can work with
Do a real good edit, please. Just you trim that thing way down.
that. Yeah. No problem.
Okay. Is that it?
You know, until last time I outrun the cops.
No, I didn't know you then.
That's right.
Okay.
You're gonna have to try.
I'll let him leave.
At least the one you know about.
Huh?
At least the one that you know about.
Oh, I probably should have talked about he has a good sense of humor. Oh well.
Hey, yeah, if you.
Do you want me to lean back?
There we go. Yeah.
Okay, is that good?
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing I love about Shawn is that he has a really good sense of humor, and he makes me laugh a lot. Yep.
Is it dad joke style humor?
I don't know. Not so much dad joke. Oh, sometimes that's not the good sense of humor. He's just witty because he's smart, so he'll think of funny things to say, and most of the time he'll make me laugh. Okay.
the hook.
Okay, good.
Thanks, Andy.
Thanks,
right.
Tyler. Okay, I'm leaving. I hope the kids are good for you in the background.
Yeah, me too. Allie's going to pick up Grant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, hi, Tiff. Can you hear me now? I just heard commotion, but I didn't know what it was.
I'm
Is
going
Luke
to
here?
try and film that.
Okay. Oh.
What's up, Disney?
He's interviewing Shawn for
Hi, Shawn.
Hey, Tiff.
All right, jump on in there.
So, you want long story, short story, in between.
I'm gonna pull up the question.
Just glad football season started again.
Okay. All right. Who are your parents and what did they teach you?
My parents are Clark Pearson and Suzanne Gardner from Richfield. They had 5 children, so it was myself and 3 brothers and a sister. I am the second to youngest. They taught me a lot of things. First off, my dad taught me how to enjoy the outdoors. He taught me how to hunt and pass on his love for hunting, as well as a love for classic cars and some of my hobbies. And then most importantly, he taught me how to be a hard worker and how to enjoy working hard and to do the job and do it right. My mom, she taught me how to depend on the Lord and build a personal relationship with Him. And she did that at a very young age for me. My parents, unfortunately, they did divorce when I was 8, and that led to a lot of trials and hardships throughout my childhood. But she taught me depend on the Lord, and so it's been really a big part of my life, a big part of my childhood. She also taught me the importance of treating everyone with respect and with kindness, and she was a great example of that. She was, just always modeled that type of behavior. And then the last thing that she taught me right before she passed away, she died of cancer, brain cancer, about 8 years ago. It was, fortunately, it was a brief struggle, but she just had an emergency surgery, and they took out the tumor. And it's a couple days after that, and I got to fly out for Maryland, spend some time with her. And she taught me to always be thankful, no matter what. And she just kept telling me that. Over and over, always be thankful no matter what. And that's a lesson that's really stuck with me. Here she was going through that battle, and she was still thankful all the way up to the very end. So I think those are the biggest things that they taught me.
How has being a father changed you?
It's changed me in many ways. Obviously, I think, it's taught me, or at least tried to teach me, to be more patient and more understanding. One of the things that I try to do with my children is to, try to see some things from their perspectives and try to coach and mentor more than I just boss around. That's obviously easier said than done sometimes. But that's one of the things that fatherhood has taught me. The other thing that it's taught me is it's given me a better appreciation and a deeper understanding of the love that our Heavenly Father has for me as His child and for all of His children. And I think that's probably the most important thing that I've learned from being a father so far.
Good answer. Can you tell the story of your professional life?
You bet.
So I've been fortunate to have two separate careers that also intertwined and supported each other. When I was 17, I was a junior in high school, and I had the opportunity to join the National Guard. And at that point, my best friend had just joined, and the recruiter brought a Humvee to our high school and was taking everybody for rides, and I thought that was pretty cool. And I wanted an opportunity to go to college, and being from a small town, growing up on a ranch, I really didn't have a lot of financial opportunity to do so. So I signed up, and I went to basic training between my junior and senior year of high school. And long story short, I fast forward a couple of years, I went on a mission, learned a foreign language. And at that point in the military, I decided to I had an opportunity to go into counterintelligence and become a special agent. So I raised my hand for that. It was much more fun than the previous job I was doing in the military. And I said to myself, well, if I like it, then I'll go get a commission. So fortunately, I really found counterintelligence fascinating. And 9/11 hit about that time. I was going to school here at SUU. And I decided that I would join ROTC and get a commission as an officer, and that I would try to serve my full 20 years career in the Army Reserve. So fast forward to graduation, I had the opportunity to serve in Iraq as a company commander. That taught me a lot. We ran the interrogation facility for the entire war at the theater level. And that was right after the Abu Ghraib scandal that was all over the news. So we went in and we replaced the unit that was responsible for that fiasco. So there was a lot of oversight at the time. We were definitely under a microscope, but we were the right people for the job. And really was a great opportunity for me to serve my country, but also, I learned so much during that time frame of my life. When I got back from Iraq, I had used some intelligence systems, some software systems, when we were there, and Northrop Grumman had built those systems for the government and the military, and they asked what I thought of those systems, and I told them that they stunk, because they did. They were not user-friendly, and we didn't use them, and we needed those capabilities to fight the war. So they hired me to fix it, and so I was able to use my expertise in counterintelligence and human intelligence, and pair that with my skill set in systems engineering. And I was able to build systems for Northrop Grumman, for the military community and the intelligence community. And I had the opportunity to be the chief architect for the human intelligence and counterintelligence system that was used across all of the Army and also through much of the intelligence community. So that was really an awesome opportunity. Also working with Northrop Grumman, I've had the opportunity to work in international business in Australia and Colombia, support some things in Mexico as well, and really work with some great people, some really talented and bright engineers. Some of the fascinating things included some space programs, and it's been a very, very rewarding career. About 7 years ago, I was given the opportunity to join another company, and I did so, and pivoted a little bit with my skill set there, and joined a pre-sales engineering team, and I've led that team in support of the defense industry and also federal healthcare industry, and that's also been very rewarding, and that's what I do to this day. And about 3 years ago, I retired from the Army Reserve. So I'm happy to have my weekends back and my time back there.
Right on. Is that going to chime any second now?
I turned it off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the next question on this list is share your faith journey, but I'm wondering, well, I want for sure you to talk about your unusual childhood.
Okay.
Maybe you cover that under Forks in the Road, which is the question after that.
Okay.
Or you can just start talking about it.
I'll talk about it under faith journey,
Okay.
and then I got another story for Forks in the Road. So, do you want me to start now, or do you want to ask the question?
Yeah, please share your faith journey.
Okay. So my faith journey is it's been an interesting one. I mentioned earlier that my parents divorced at an age I was 8 years old. Been baptized for a couple of months. But it was a very difficult divorce. I had, like I said, 4 siblings, but my parents couldn't agree on a custody situation, so we were split. And 2 siblings went with my mom, and my brother and I went with my dad, and my oldest brother ended up going with my grandparents. And so not only did I lose a parent that I was living with, but I also lost living with siblings, and so that was very difficult. My mom taught me the importance of depending on the Lord, so I learned right then at a very early age that that's what I had to do. And I had to become very independent, because as hard as dads try, they just can't do some things that moms can do. And as a little kid at 8 years old, you need those types of things. So I learned at 8 years old to do my own laundry, to cook my own meals, etc., etc. But fast forward a few years, when I was 11 years old, my dad decided to move back to the family ranch. And so we went from living in Bountiful and Salt Lake to being put into a ranch in Marysville. So I went from being a city boy to a country boy kind of overnight. And that was, on one hand, it was kind of fun. On the other hand, it was also very challenging. And part of that move was, I think my dad just I think he had a midlife crisis and kind of checked out at the time. And we lived without electricity and without running water for several months. And so I remember doing homework by light of a candle and by light of a lantern from time to, for months at a time, actually. But with that, I've learned to be grateful for running water and hot water and electricity when I flip on the light switch. But fast forward to when I was 15, my dad got remarried, and long story short, I ended up living by myself, alone, without any parents for several months, for pretty much all of my sophomore year of high school. And that's something that as a 15-year-old, I didn't really feel safe or at home with my parents. I was in a small community, so that's where I felt safe. And the crazy thing is, now that I'm a father, I really can't fathom this, but he let me live alone, so I lived alone. That was a very lonely time during my life, very challenging time. And again, I just learned to depend on the Lord, and that's who I had. That's who I depended on. And one thing that's always been that I've been fortunate with is I've always had faith, and I've always believed in the gospel and in the restoration. But I've also it's fortunate to have really good spiritual experience one day at high school, at seminary class, and our seminary teacher, he'd spent a week or two reading from a book about Joseph Smith and the martyrdom of Joseph Smith. And when he finished, right up to the martyrdom, he finished the book, and I remember I just remember the spirit that was there. He asked us all to stand up and sing praise to the man. And we were a rough bunch of guys at Paiute High at the time. And we all stood up and we sang that, but there was such a strong spirit. And I don't think there was a dry eye in the classroom. And that was the first time where I really got a strong testimony of the role of Joseph Smith in the restoration. And I remember the bell rang, it was time for lunch. On their normal day, everybody would run to lunch from that class, from the seminary building. They would run across and we'd race each other. But that day, everybody walked. We walked slowly out of the classroom, and we just pondered that experience that we had and talked about it, the whole way to lunch. But that was really, really great experience, gave me a really strong testimony. So that testimony has continued to be strengthened throughout my life, and I have a very strong testimony now. The Lord's aware of each of us on an individual level, and His restoration is true, and He loves us more than we can begin to fathom.
How did you get to school?
How did I get to school? How did I get to high school? So when I lived alone, I rode the bus, and we would ride the bus to and from school. It'd take about 45 minutes to get there. The school was only 10 miles away, but we'd have to pick up everybody on the outskirts of town. And then, sometimes I would drive. Even though I was only 15, being a farm boy, you drive a lot, and you know how to drive. You know how to run equipment at a young age. I would drive the back roads. And that's how I'd get to friends' houses. That's how I'd get to ball practice sometimes, and I just did whatever I could to survive.
Can you describe any significant forks in the road of your life?
Yeah. So I think the biggest fork in the road of my life was right after I graduated college with my bachelor's. I've always loved history, and so I chose history as my undergrad. My plan was I wanted to be an attorney, go to law school. And so that was my plan, my focus. I planned out each credit that I took. I think I needed 122 credits to graduate. I graduated with 123 in 3.5 years, and I was just moving straight forward. And my wife and I, Angie and I, we went and picked out an apartment. We were going to move to go to law school, and the whole time we were there, I just felt absolutely horrible, and I didn't know why I had just a bad feeling about the whole thing. And at first I thought, well, it's nerves, it's anxiety, but I just prayed and prayed it'd go away, go away, go away. It never did. And so over the case of a few days, we came home, flew home, and I remember waking up the next morning. It was a Sunday, getting ready for church, and I just felt sick about everything. And I went and met with the bishop and asked for his advice, and he didn't tell me what to do one way or the other. He said the world needs lots of great attorneys, and he's right in that we need righteous people to go into that profession. It was a noble profession. But as I was leaving his office, he called me back in, and he said, "Have you called your dad for a father's blessing?" And I said, "Yeah, I've called my dad. He's going to drive down from Richfield, and he'll be here this afternoon." And he said, "Before he takes his hands off your head, you'll know what you need to do." And those, very, very strong advice and counsel. and it didn't come out of nowhere. So that afternoon, my dad gave me a blessing. My wife was there, Angie was there with me, and just an apartment here in Cedar City. And my dad didn't say you need to do X, Y, or Z either, but he talked about two things during the blessing. He mentioned teaching, and another part in the blessing he mentioned military intelligence. And during both of those times, my bosom just burned very strongly. So after that blessing was over, I knew that I didn't have clarity on what my way ahead was, what the fork was. But I knew that I needed to figure it out, and I knew something with teaching and something with military intelligence. If you're going to teach military intelligence for the Army, usually you need 20 or 30 years of experience, a career behind you. And so it didn't make sense. Because I just graduated, we still needed to do 6 months of additional officer training in military intelligence at Fort Huachuca. But the school was backed up 2 years because of the war. This was 2004. So we were trying to figure out what was going on. I was doing a lot of fasting, a lot of praying, trying to figure out what these things meant. And lo and behold, within a week and a half, I got a call that somebody dropped out of a class, and if I could show up in the next 2 weeks, I would have a slot to attend my 6-month training. So I said, yeah, we'll do it. So we packed up our car. We drove to Fort Huachuca, Arizona. It's just south of Tucson, Arizona. And I knew, well, that will give me 6 months to figure out if we're going to law school or what I'm going to do next in my life and career. So by the time I got done with that training, General Dynamics had offered me a job because of my counterintelligence training to train counterintelligence agents for the U.S. Army, for the Intelligence Center and School, to deploy downrange to Iraq and Afghanistan. So suddenly everything made sense. Those promptings that I felt in that blessing. And then from there, everything else has opened up into the careers that I've had. I've had some amazing opportunities, been able to travel the world, been able to present at the Pentagon, present to the Vice Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. I've been able to do stuff that got in front of the Deputy Prime Minister of Australia. Really some amazing things, worked with some amazing people that never would have happened if I wouldn't have trusted the Lord enough and have enough faith to follow those promptings.
That's awesome. What is something you wish you had learned earlier in your life?
Well, the power of the word relax. I think something that I wish I would have learned earlier in life is the value of mentors. Seeking out mentors for myself and for my benefit, and then also looking for opportunities to mentor other people. So I think mentorship is something I wish I would have understood the value of earlier in life.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
How do you want to be remembered?
So I think first and foremost, I'd like to be remembered as a good father, someone that loves their family and cares for their family. Like to be remembered as somebody who loves their country and loves their God. So I'd say God, family, and country. That's what I'd like to be remembered for.
Do you have any hobbies?
Yeah. So hobbies. I love cars. Cars, trucks, anything that goes along those lines. Classic cars, antique cars, sports cars, 4x4s, whatever. If it has an engine, I like it. I'm interested in it. I love to travel, so traveling new places, trying new foods, learning new culture. That's something that I really, really enjoy. I enjoy baseball. A good friend of mine from high school, my best friend, we go to the different ballparks around the country. So I've been to 23 ballparks. I have a few more to go, but that's been something that's been really fun. To go see the unique ballparks, and then also all of the sites in those cities and roundabout. A lot of places that I wouldn't normally go to or even know about, but as you go to the different ballparks, you learn those things. And another cool thing about that is just meeting the people and how much we have in common, just with average, normal, everyday people when it comes to things like baseball or just some of the things that we take for granted. Oh, and hunting and anything outdoors.
All right, lightning round. What is your favorite food?
Favorite food, I love Italian food. I don't know if I could nail down a specific dish, but Italian, and I always love a good steak.
Favorite place?
Lauterbrunnen in Switzerland. I think if I don't go to heaven, if I don't make it to the Celestial Kingdom, Lauterbrunnen in Switzerland would be okay.
Favorite book or author?
I really love the book A Marvelous Work and a Wonder by LeGrand Richards about the restoration of the gospel.
Favorite scripture?
Favorite scripture is 2 Nephi 31:20. And I have it memorized in Portuguese still. But
let's hear it in Portuguese.
Well, it would be kind of jumbled. I think it goes: Deveis, pois, prosseguir com firmeza em Cristo, banqueteando-vos sobre a palavra de Cristo e perseverando até o fim. E eis que assim diz o Pai, terás vida eterna. Something along those lines. In English, wherefore you must press forward with the steadfastness in Christ, having a perfect brightness of hope and the love of God and of all men. Wherefore, if ye shall press forward, feasting upon the words of Christ, and endure to the end, behold, thus saith the Father, ye shall have eternal life.
Favorite hymn?
I'd say Give Said the Little Stream, but it's not a hymn. But I do love that song, and I just like Give Said the Little Stream. But I'd say probably, out of a hymn in the hymn book, I'll go where you want me to go.
Those are both solid answers. What are we missing?
How so? Just
anything else that people should know about you?
Well, sometimes I can be quiet and introverted. Other times I can be extroverted. So I love to learn about people and get to know people. So if you see me around, say hi. I'd like to get to know everybody in the quorum. So.